such that you are everyone yet. I am trying to get into the game, which you can notice I'm having trouble doing because the game is giving me issues and I don't know why. I don't know if the rest of you are having that problem, but I am. I'm also trying to get into Twitch on my iPad so that I can look at what you're saying to me if I show you screenshots, which is probably what I'm going to have to do right now, is show you screenshots. Because unfortunately, yeah, it's not showing me my current stream. Oh, here we go, just now. All right. Oh, gotta mute myself. Okay, no sound. Beautiful. All right, so I don't know if you guys are having trouble getting into the game right now, but I am. Trying to... Okay, sorry about this. I'm being all weird about it, but okay, I've opened up chat. Are you still hearing double audio? I'm closing things out. And are you still hearing it? I think I fixed it. Crap, what is repeating? That almost suggests that I have another one open. You know, I wonder if it's my iPad. I bet my iPad is actually broadcasting. Tell me if it's gone now, because I have everything closed. There really shouldn't be an echo anymore. The only thing I have open is this game and the streaming software. Thank you, Schottenjäger. I appreciate the help on this. I'm still kind of learning. Very much learning. What I was thinking about doing was showing you guys some more screenshots because I have some really good ones. And I feel like, you know, we get a lot more seen this way. All right. I'm not hearing from you, so I'm assuming it's fixed. I'm hoping it's fixed. So I wasn't going to do any streaming, but I decided to do some streaming today. Basically just say hello to my friends, and some people mentioned to me some suggestions on things I should do differently, and I think that, you know, I'm going to let me refresh your browser. Okay, and tell me if it's broken. I would appreciate it. All right, so let me show you some of these screenshots that I'm doing. Images. Okay, and then me, and you should be able to see it. Okay, so this is, I don't know whose house this was, because again, I was really bad about that in the beginning. But this is one of the pictures I took for aquatic. This is Lynchel, and these are crown store flowers, but I bet you could do it with regular flowers too. And these are candles, and they just put them in the reflecting pool, and I thought that this was really pretty because, you know, you usually see people put a fountain in the middle or put like flowers on each edge or whatever. Oh, it was you. Okay. Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't know why it's playing on spicy, but it may be J Hart set it up to do that, but if he did, I appreciate it. So basically, oh, that means I can open up my iPad again and see chat and not miss anything, which is good, because sometimes I'm going to be doing other things and I want to make sure that I can see what you're saying to me. All right. And I want to say hello to all of you who have been so supportive and so kind to me and so just saying such nice things. I really appreciate it, because I'm a shy person, and so this is a little bit hard for me. But it's also given me some friends. Like yesterday I was having a really hard time, and I came on, and it was actually really nice. It was Research Monkey actually was helping me out with feeling better about streaming and some things that happened to me last night. My cat Grant is actually dying, and it's hard, and I'm not dealing with it emotionally very well, because I don't have kids. They're essentially my kids. And I also have a friend that I'm really worried about right now, and he's not telling me what's going on, and so I think his health is poor, and he's not telling me, and I'm very, very upset because I'm worried about him. And I don't know. It is what it is. So here's another picture of what you can do aquatic. I think that's the Necromancer Spire that somebody used. And then they used Cold Harbor rocks sticking out. And then a whole bunch of those, I guess they're the Lux furnishings. Thank you, Magical Rats. You're such a sweetheart. My baby boy, my kitty. My professor teases me and says that I have a self-mutilating artist and a war criminal in my home, because my other cat is named Van Gogh, so I guess he would be the self-mutilating artist. And I didn't name him. He came with that name. I don't know. Wait, it didn't change pictures. Oh, I see what's going to happen. I see what's going to happen. Let me change the... it should be screen capture, not image capture. All right. Remove. Yes, remove the image. And I will show you a house instead for now. We'll get back to screenshots later when I can't get in. I was really just using them to avoid having to not show you anything or not stream. Sorry about the chatter. I'm going to turn that off too. So someone yesterday told me that my best work is generally when I'm just showing you things, less about my tangents. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just show you some things. And since this is obviously not a good day for me, because last night I had some rough times. I'm super sensitive. I need to stop being so sensitive. But I am. I mean, it's just nature, nurture, who knows? But I am. Oh, and I don't know if you noticed, you probably did. I put some hair wax in, the red hair wax, sort of like a Halloween-y kind of thing, but it's not, it doesn't look great, but I'm not going to do it again, but I thought it would be a fun little try it and see if I like it. Okay, so this house, and I'll turn off my UI, was an entrance into a contest for inns and bars and pubs for Divine Design Alliance, and its name is El Titi, a Khajiiti Altmer fusion restaurant. Let's see, magical. It's okay, Stavi. Don't feel bad about being sensitive. You're a wonderful person. I love your streams and seeing all these beautiful houses and getting inspiration. Thank you. My husband mentioned to me that I seem much happier since I started doing it, and I think so too. And it's nice to be able to talk to friends and have a conversation with people that I otherwise don't get to have a conversation with, and share something in common. In this case, my restaurant entry. Now, this didn't win. It seems like everything I'm showing you guys didn't win, which is fine. This was I did put some essential housing tools in here so you can see the floors, and they'll go on and off depending on if I turn off effects. This is the parquet floor. Again, I made it very dark because I think that the darkness really helps with making it look more real. And then over here is, you know, you're in a restaurant, so here's some food. Now, something I really like to do with meat, I know that sounds terrible, doesn't it? I like to make it look like it's fresh, and the way to do that is actually tricky. You see underneath, I put a second piece of ham. So if you put the knife in there and then put a second ham underneath, it makes it look like you're slicing the ham. Now, I did not come up with that. Someone else brilliant came up with that, but I stole it from someone, and that's where I'm sticking by. The lamp also was an idea. Yeah, and doesn't it look great? It looks great. I think it looks really good. The lamp also was someone else's idea. I get ideas from everywhere. Yeah, we do steal from each other. This is the wedding lamp, and I just put it on top of one of those alchemical luxury item, what are they called? I can't move it. Basically one of those from Clockwork, and it has all those clockwork cogs in it, and so it looks like it's a lamp base. And then on top of the sweet rolls, I don't know if you know this, but you can get these sweet rolls as an achievement for finishing from Gold Coast. If you finish all the quests out there, which are fun anyway, you should probably do it. You can get a bunch of sweet rolls all connected, and then it gets less from your item count. And all of these little doohickeys on top are fake. Those are just added in with effects because J-Heart makes fun of, and J-Heart does a lot of reviewing of homes, but he makes fun of us using those radishes as strawberries on top. So I figured I'd try something different, but it looks really fake, so I may not stick with that. This is the kitchen, which I was most proud of. I started copying this idea, and I think it's a good idea. Basically, a shelf with all sorts of knives or pots and pans hanging makes it look very realistic. I think that something like this belongs in every kitchen. Also, you can hang them to make them look like they're hanging from the cabinets that you have up. I like that too. I'll get to the sink. That's my favorite. This is basically one of those orc cabinets, and I saw some people using it and using it for storage. And in fact, for some time, I used my Pariah's Pinnacle as a storage house, and so I put everything by type because I'm crazy. I put everything by type up, and I would put them in individual ones of these, and then underneath is just a Psijic table. And candles help light it up because otherwise it's really hard to see what all you have. And I have fruit on top that looks like it's pouring out of the box, and you know, game hanging, and meat and Merkmeyer berries and whatnot. And so I tried to get a whole bunch of different types of things and just stuff them in there. And what's great about essential housing tools, you know, everything, but I can select by radius. I can select all of these items and then go to another house and then hit paste, and I will have this. It will just paste it into the other house. So if I wanted to cannibalize my old houses and steal them that way, and I know some of you do, that's how you would do it. But I don't like to destroy my old builds, so what I do is I copy and then I go buy all new ones, all new items. So I'll have the same, you know, sacks and sweet rolls and berries and whatnot, same number in my inventory, hit build, and then this will come up and build it exactly the same as my old build, and my old build doesn't get destroyed. So that's important to me because I really believe we should be leaving our old builds alone. We should, unless you want to improve them, but don't destroy them. Improving them is one thing. This is a trophy flipped upside down. Let's see if I can show you. Now I'm having trouble selecting with my UI off. Let's see if I can do it here. Yeah. So this is a trophy. I think that's Grothdar. I actually don't know who that is. One of my few trophies that I have, and I use it as a cutting board. I've seen a lot of people do that, and it's a good idea. That's just a Nirnkrux bowl. That's also from the Lux vendor. Now, these two things, the rolling pin and the moon sugar bowl, both of those are stolen. You have to you can steal them very rarely in elsewhere. Let me see. Magical Reds. That's a great idea. I must start playing around with furniture, looking at it from different angles. So much you can do. I'm a newbie at that. I know people who say that they spend hours taking each item, flipping it different ways, and seeing what it can look like. I have not come to that level of skill yet, so I get ideas from other people, mostly from visiting or from J-Heart's stream, or now from my own stream, visiting houses and seeing what they look like. If you want to play with every trophy in the game, feel free to go to my house and play. Thank you, Schottenjäger. I think it was you who offered that the other day, and I appreciated it, and I forgot to respond to you, but that was very kind offer. I don't think I'll ever get every trophy in the game because I'm not into dungeons, but I was really proud of this sink. Okay, so that's also another trophy. I think that's one of the very, very few. How many trophies do I have? Wait, I do have a few, not many. I have 5 undaunted trophies and 1 undaunted bust. And I just don't like doing dungeons. I'm really a potato. That's why I am the streaming potato. Oh, I just noticed that Cardi followed me. Cardinal5. I hope he watches. Also, a thank you to Swankery, Zanoza, Oculin Crystal, who is also Gita and really awesome and has great lips that look like she's wearing lipstick even though she's not. I'm missing 2 busts, but they're on the list of things to do. J-Heart will probably run you through wherever you want to go. He's taking people through to get their busts and stuff. Volringer and Arani1, thank you all for following. I hope you watch the broadcasts later, or at least skip to parts that you like. That's my hope. This is the Imperial Fountain of the Bay, which is, I think it's crown only. And I think I got it with the Mara set. I don't think that this, or maybe one of the houses I got. I wish the energy and talent to do the end game and get the cool stuff. Hee hee. Same. I should just go, hi Fosman, how you doing? I should just go with J-Heart and on these runs through the dungeons, but I just don't enjoy it. And, you know, I'd rather just be my potato-y self and build things. So, let me turn my UI off again. So this is that, and then I put snow. I have a bunch of snow from buying Pariah's Pinnacle, so I stuck snow in there so it doesn't look like suds. Yeah. And then sinking plates on random angles makes it look like I'm washing dishes. This idea, I think is in my screenshot, so eventually I'll be able to give credit to whom it is, but right now I can't. This is a fire grate with plates laid in it as if it's a drying rack, and then there's the towels underneath. Thank you, Magical. I adopted this idea because I thought it was fabulous. It really looks like a drying rack. Now, this doesn't have any knobs, so I used ivory to make it look like it has knobs. Otherwise, it would just be water pouring out oddly into the water without any sort of like hot and cold or idea. I'm turning off effects because, as you can see, that is a black backsplash, and I think it moved. Do you guys notice that it's like a little bit oddly off? It should be down like that. Yeah. Okay, fixed. That's how simple that was. So don't be afraid to use effects because it's stupid simple. So here I am with a backsplash. And these tiles are fabulous for backsplashes and kitchens in general. They're just beautiful. They're perfect. They look like they're old kitchen smoked and stained from cooking. They look like something you'd find in an old farmhouse kitchen or something. Over here we have, I always use, and I'm turning off the effects here because it makes it, I don't know if you can see, but part of it goes invisible when I have the effects on. I don't know why. But this is one of those alchemy stands, but doesn't it look like hand soap? So I bought a whole bunch of them, and I keep them next to all of my sinks in the kitchens because it looks like hand soap to me. Which, if you think back, they probably didn't have hand soap back in medieval days. They also didn't have refrigerators and all the other stuff that we put in. We're very anachronistic, but you know, you do what you want, and if it's neat and it impresses people and makes you happy, do it. You know, even if it doesn't impress other people, do it. Over here is just some clutter. Clutter, in case no one has explained, because I started hearing people use that term and I didn't really know what it meant. And then eventually I figured out from context. It's just stuff that people leave around to make it look lived in. So in this case, it's a book, a fan, which you can steal from elsewhere, a pot pie, and a cup, and a pillow. And that's my clutter over here. In case you're wondering about these are a whole bunch of elsewhere style tapestries and other items that came in a set, a furnishing set that they had out recently that is only limited time. But it was, you know, it probably ended up costing me 1.3 million gold or something like that, because I never buy with crowns if I can avoid it. I went and bought with gold because I have a lot of gold and I don't have a lot of crowns. And I want to say again, and I get nothing out of it, but you should really go to Tamriel Crown Exchange Discord. I'm sure it's easy to find. If not, I'll link it at some point. But they are my preferred crown sellers because they insure everything. So if you get scammed, they pay for it. And they have an escrow system where, you know, a broker comes to you and you give them their money. Then you get your items from the seller. Then the seller gets their money. So it's a really safe system because I have known situations where Zos has not refunded money to people, so who got scammed. So, and also their sellers get vetted. So I think it's the safest way. They charge a little more. They charge like 225 a crown usually, sometimes 200, but it's worth it. And like I said, long time ago, I prefer to buy from strangers at the proper price than with guildies for undercutting them. So this was a fusion restaurant. So I fused together the Aldmeri eagle with the Khajiit lion. And I thought that that was really neat wall decoration, that if you could combine them, that it really says what the entire restaurant is all about. I told you, I think it was 2 days ago, that later on as I became a better builder, I started combining colors that were opposite to each other on the color wheel in flowers. So here we have yellow, these are from Merkmeyer, and blue. And I think those might be from Hugh's Bane as an achievement. And if you combine them together, I'm sorry about the leaf sticking out of the side. I should probably fix that at some point, but that's what it is. And the rugs are from, obviously from elsewhere, which if you don't have, you should get. And if you can't afford it, J-Heart's giving away copies, so you should probably watch his stream. These are achievement books that I wish I hadn't bought because I have so many of them and they don't fit anywhere. So I'm using them as menus. These are from Clockwork, and I don't know if you know, but everything in Clockwork is done on metal, so they don't have books. So this is like a plate. And the only way I've been able to use them has been in here as a menu. And look at this, we have a griffin. We have a griffin. We wish we had a griffin. There we go. In real life, anyway. Griffins are cool. This is a baby griffin. And he's just chilling in here. Look how beautiful he is with those feathers. Yeah. I don't know. Just enjoying the griffin. Going upstairs, and we have more achievement furnishings. This is the frog collar, which is silly. Listen to that. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can't leave it on for long because it's embarrassingly bad. But this is Pariah, and she's apparently playing the drums. I don't have any. Oh, I do have something, but I'm not going to sell it to you because you're going to rip me off for 35%. This is a little game corner. This is a place I totally would hang out. I don't know about you, but I would definitely hang out in this restaurant. Those are fake not tablecloths. I forgot what they're called. I don't have words. So if you guys think of the word for that I'm trying to think of, placemats? Placemats. Whew. Those are placemats made from, thank you, Fazerman. God, my brain is just shot. I'm not even like up, I'm not even warmed up yet, you know, because I think I got a little screwed up recently because I think somebody said that I go on too many tangents, and so like now I'm nervous that I'm going to go on tangents and not be very good, but I can't help it. That's who I am. So these are rugs actually in EHT, and you just shrink them down and give them a bright color and they look just like placemats, and I really love this. And I hadn't seen anyone else do it, and I'm going to use this in the future. Tangents are fun. I'm at least 50% tangents. Yeah, I just can't finish a thought. That's my problem. I tend to just, you know, one thing after another pops in my head, and I want to say so many things to you folks. As you can see, Zabi's hanging out. Zabi the banker. She's doing something with playing a game with boxes. I don't know what she's doing really, but that's what she says she's doing. There's a painting here that is fake. I made that 100% from EHT. You know, it looks fake. Magical Reds. Don't be nervous, Savvy. You're doing great. Thank you. I'll try to get more relaxed. I'm still on edge from saying stupid things yesterday to a friend and feeling really dumb about them and wishing I could just erase everything. But you can't. You know, life is life. Life sucks. I'm a little down today still. I'm working on it. Talking to you guys really helps with me feeling down and trying to cheer up a little bit. This is, yeah, I don't know how this looks. It looks too fake to me. I may not leave that for good, but it's a pretty effect. So here's my favorite part of this house. This is tea and espresso bar. This is the kettle. This is supposed to be like something that holds, you know, stirrers or something. And then this is a sugar bowl. And then this is a gravy bowl, but I use it to look like a milk, you know, it looks like a milk thing, doesn't it? Looks good to me, but I don't really know what I'm looking at. It's a painting. I mean, it's supposed to look like a painting, but it does look cartoony, you know? You can tell that it doesn't go with everything else, but I like it. So J. Hart makes fun of whenever anybody uses this as a milk. What is the word I'm looking for? God, my brain. A milk pourry thing. I'll make up a name for it. And, but I think it looks like one, so he can just shut up and deal with it. Saucer. Okay. Over here I have made an espresso machine. And I made an espresso machine out of a clock. That is a broken dwarven clock that came off of the vendor, the Lux vendor. This is just a normal cup. That's an upside down elsewhere incense burner. And then this is just a alchemical master thing, which you can buy off of a trader or make yourself. Carafe. That's a good word. That is probably what it is. So I made this thinking it looked like one of those really brass, beautiful espresso machines. Like, I don't think that J Hart or some other people who saw it really appreciated what I was going for, because you have to be a coffee person, I guess, or somebody who has seen one of those amazing brass large espresso machines that they especially used to make, and they're still used often in Italy and in big in good coffee shops. You can find the big brass ones, and so that's what I was going for, the really ornate ones. I'm not, but I love this. So creative. Well, thank you for recognizing it. I appreciate it. This is milk. This is fake. And then I used, and J Hart spotted this. This was impressive to me. I just wanted it to have coffee pouring. He caught on that that is actually the sand effect. That is not water. I thought it looked more like coffee coming down with sand. So I just dyed the sand and used that instead of coffee, instead of a water effect. And so I loved this. This was my favorite part of this house. And I don't normally show off a lot of my own homes, but I was proud of this one. And, you know, I think part of the problem is that a lot of people in DDA don't use, in all guilds, don't use EHT at all, or don't even install it to help out other people, you know, and see things the way that they're intended. And so I lose a lot of contests, I think, because of that. And I don't care. The reality is that I'm in DDA not to win, but to have inspiration to build something, like deadlines. Those are helpful. And I think that's going to help me with my writing too, is to have deadlines. And I'm having that come up with, I'm going to do NaNoWriMo or Remo, I don't know how you say it, November writing month. And my local small town coffee shop is a machine like that. It's rater realistic. I'm not sure what that means. But thank you. Oh, rather. You probably said rather realistic. Thank you. I worked for that. But I love coffee. Fazaman, I'm looking. It's being described as a jug, a pitcher, pour. None of them seem really right to me. I think there's a word for it. Like a milk. Hand me the milk, I guess is what I would say. All right, so this is my well, I would say masterpiece, but I guess it is my masterpiece. This is the one that Cardi, the guy who wrote EHT, actually fell in love with. This was my first, what I think, excellent and possibly my best house ever. What I was going for is I was going for the colored aisles, which is the Daedric plane where Meridia lives. And what it looks like in the game is it's basically coral going up to the sky, and you're walking over broken rock and what looks like water, but is probably aether, and amongst these corals. So I really wanted to copy and bring the colored aisles to here. So what I had to use was a whole lot of EHT, because I didn't, you know, there's so many things you can't do in the base game. And so here what you have is a bunch of EHT, like I said in another stream. If you're going to put water in, put sand under it. It makes it look better. It doesn't flicker out, and it's just a good idea because it makes it look more realistic. Otherwise, you would be seeing this. And that's a walkway that I put into place because otherwise you fell down so far in the water that it looked terrible. So I'm trying to, and the floor is naturally like these things. So it's like pavers. Excuse my cough, I'm still getting over it. So I covered that all. These lunar coral are not purchasable, I don't think. We never got Jodes, and this, I don't think this ever came across, or maybe it did and I missed it. But they are in EHT, and so you can install them that way. And they, especially far off, they look pretty real, because none of these are real. I think you can see them off in the distance, and they look pretty good. You can have animations from EHT. So here's a frog, or a toad, I guess. And he just moves back and forth. There's only a few animations, but this is one of them, and I think he's cute. And you kind of catch it from the corner of your eye. And what I did is I blocked off a lot of the view, and I suggest you do this because this is a good stylistic tip, which I appreciate Research Monkey pointing out to me that stylistic tips help. These are sea grape trees, and if you put them in the background, you can block out a lot of empty space. Like, look at all this empty space, you know, too much empty space. You can block out empty space, and you can also make things look more realistic by adding trees around them. Just put trees in almost everything if you can manage it. Put trees in everything. This was when I learned my technical skills on a lot of different EHT animations and things. The fish, I had to put them up against. You can see I put them up against a rock because otherwise they're very 2D, and with the water over them, I'm trying to get it in it. See it? You know, it's got a clear background in front of the fish. That showed. So it would look like a blank spot in the middle of all this water. Cardi explained to me about layering, that generally you can't layer effects. Whichever one meets the eye first is the one that is the primary. So if by putting it up against a wall, it can be blank, you know, it can have that problem. And if I fix this, it would probably look even more real. So take my advice on this, because you're going to run into this if you ever work with EHT. Put things up against the wall. It will make it look more real. Give it a shot. It should work out. One of the things I don't like about this is I fall off of it really easy. And if I were to do it all over again, I'd probably have a better floor system. But this is what I've got. Is EHT off? No. Something's missing. See this? See this guy? He's bubbling. I put bubbles over all of the clams. So one of my clams is missing his bubbles. And I don't know why. Maybe I just missed it. But this is just bubbles made really, really small and put coming out of the clam to make it look like it's got air coming out of it. I think that they do that in real life. I'm not really sure. I probably should have looked into it. But these are the sintered rocks from Cold Harbor. And sintered rocks are great. I've used them in a bunch of different situations, and I'll show you them later. That they're excellent. They're really versatile, and they're interesting looking. They're not just a stupid rock, you know. They've got shape, they've got texture. They're interesting to use. Then I stuck coral on it. Clam popped the bubbles by spitting water at him. Hey, Cranor, he may have. I don't know what happened to his bubbles. He just gave them up. And then also you could fish up coral. I don't know if you knew that, but you can fish coral out of the ocean. And here's, can I show you it? No, that one's all up there. When I come across one, I'll point out to you one of the ones that you can fish. I think this one you can fish. This edge here, not the whole thing. And people sell them. I think the same is with the kelp. You can fish the kelp up. And people sell them, and you can get them really cheap on the stores for like 150 gold or whatnot. They're pretty affordable, and you can stick them in here. That's just a pet that I stuck in here. And then this is something I mentioned to Funky Redneck, that he had put fish in his fish tank inside a Vardenfol plant. And this is what I was talking about. I did that too, because it seemed logical to me that don't fish hide in coral reefs. I thought that's what fish did, is they hang out in the coral reef. They hang out in small parts. So it seemed logical to me that that's where the fish would be. And since these don't move, it makes them look like they're hiding, you know? I thought that was really a clever idea, and I'm glad that other people came to that conclusion. These are Lights of Meridia, the balls. I don't know, what are they called? I forget what they're called. Um, Sorry. They're expensive. They're usually about 75K a pop. I do shopping every morning looking for deals, so I doubt I paid 75K for all of these. It really needed the lighting though. Without the lighting, true, I officially like to hide. Yeah. Otherwise predators get them. They get nom nom nom. The sky is one of Cardi's skies. I just stuck a I like the way it changes colors. It seems good for a Daedric realm. I could talk way too long about this area, but if it's boring, let me know and I'll fix it, and I'll go somewhere else. But these are the luxury item crystals that I thought looked mystical, and they could be there. Who knows? And one of the turtles from Murkmire. It's a turtle doll, but if you look at it kind of sideways, you can't tell it's a doll, right? He's cute. Lizard's also from EHT. He's not real. You can probably tell. But, excuse me. Something I learned from greekvamp is when doing ocean scenes, and I really did learn from other people. I didn't just come up with this stuff whole cloth. Everything that I've thought to do almost entirely has been inspired by other people. He put junk in his ocean scene, and I'll show you greekvamp's ocean scene after this, because it's really just flabbergasting how good it is. And I realized that he's right. Like, what would wash up in the ocean? Barrels, anchors would go missing, boat winches would go missing. And so I thought that was also really realistic, and plus it gives something interesting to look at when you're walking through. It's like, oh, what is that? Oh, it's a winch. Keely, Stabby, I need advice on an idea after your stream, please. Yes, I'm there for you. Whatever you need, happy to help. And then those are the Vardenfell crystals, and those were just for sale this last weekend. Those flowers. Hope you bought a bunch. Or wait, they're on now. So if you want them now, go get them. They're on the Lux now. If you're watching this weekend, your timing is good. Another turtle. That's a little excessive. Maybe I should take him out. But the fishing stuff, I thought, a fisherman left his stuff here, his or her, another pet, some rope. And I really tried to make this interesting. I really tried to make it so you have lots of stuff to look at. You're not just seeing a couple of fish or whatnot. Oh, I don't know if you noticed this, but when I'm running through, it's not really doing it as much. It used to move more, so I'm not going to show it off for now. But you could see movement better. I think he changed up what his different stuff does, Cardi. I'll see with him later and see if I'm wrong. I put a ship back there. Made it really big. That's another effect. And it seems to fit to me. Off in the distance, I tended to use fake stuff, because the further away it is, I thought the better it looked. The more it looked realistic. As realistic as the Isles could possibly look, I guess. Another frog that hops. Different colors. Yeah, the splashing. I don't know what happened. There used to be a little bit more splashing. And the sand used to kick up more. And it was actually a really cool effect. And I think Curdy even videoed it and put it on the internet somewhere. So I'm not sure what changed. Maybe it's just a mistake or something. I'll talk to him about it. I made different color fish. See, you can see what I'm talking about. Put it up against a wall or it'll clip out like that. Layering with effects is just so hard. But it's worth it, because what you get out of it is this, I couldn't have made this look like a coral reef without the effects. So, you sacrifice some things for others, and I think it's worth it. And Cardi obviously thinks it's worth it. This is kind of funny. I don't know if you guys know Snow Fairy Wings, but she does some really amazing work. And she's in DDA also. And she has this tendency to put a waterfall in everything that she builds. And I think I decided to copy that because it seems like they add a little something to every build. So here I have a tiny waterfall, which doesn't seem naturally like it could actually be there doing that. But there it is. Okay, so here we are. Meridia. She's a beaut. When I saw this statue, it was after I started making the color dials. So it was perfect, right? It hadn't come out with it yet. Cardi wanted to video it. He wanted to put this out there as an example of what EHT can do. And I wouldn't let him, not until I got Meridia. And she was expensive and she was worth it. And she's beautiful. Meridia is the Daedric goddess of light. There's some argument as to whether she is good or evil. But, you know, she's certainly done some good, so maybe she is good. And back here, I hid a little griffin for somebody. He's just hiding here. He doesn't belong here, though. I'm going to put him away, but I just thought I'd say hi to the griffin because I like griffins. Real life ones and fake ones. Griffins are great. Anyway, I was going to show you, I'll show you greekvamp's Psijic. I looked for homes to visit this morning that were new. I only saw one and I went to it. And it was quick, but it was cute. And I sent the author a message. Grand Psijic, which I encourage you to do because it really does make a difference to people when you acknowledge that their stuff is good. I think it really touches their heart and may make their day a little better, which, let's face it, the world is kind of difficult right now. So anybody could use a little positivity, I think. So this I found by just before I had EHT, so it couldn't have been made with that. And I was just randomly going to different homes and of guildies, and that's how I found this. And this was the inspiration for a lot of, for something else I built later that I'll show you. But this was one of those mouth-dropping builds where I'm looking at it going, what? You can do that? This is Grand Psijic. Normally you would go this way to the house. He built out over the ocean. Now, what I didn't realize is how quite far you can build out over the ocean. Look at that. It just keeps going, doesn't it? It's a beautiful view, and he's blocked off pretty much all of the main island. And then you come along here, and this is what oh, Pariah. I forgot that he put people out here. That's cute. They're drowning. Shall we save them? No, just leave them. Oh, God, the dog! Oh, that's depressing. Sick. So here you have what I drew from. And see, I didn't copy it exactly, but I did use some of the ideas because the sea stuff makes sense that would wash up after a wreck, which this seems to be a wreck, right? Because you see, there's wrecked box or cart or something here. Oh my God, I got killed by slaughterfish. That's embarrassing. I got eaten by slaughterfish. I wasn't paying attention. I'm such an idiot. That was embarrassing. That's what I get for trying to show you people things. And I'm not nearly funny enough. I don't know. I don't know what a wreck is. I mean, it looks like a wreck to me. Like, what were they sailing in? I don't know. Maybe it got crashed up against the coral. Makes sense, doesn't it? I hadn't noticed this until I just died, but there's a spider up there. God, that's horrifying. I don't want anything to do with spiders. They are not my friend. Well, they're my friend, but I try not to have any interaction with them. There's another chest of dead fish. And so we're really far out. I mean, I don't know what he spelled out over there, but he clearly spelled something out over there. I think you can recognize we're on the side because you can see the very tops of the spires. But it's really far out. And here we keep going, and I thought, oh, clearly this must be the end here, right? He can't possibly keep going. And I was wrong. You can keep going. Look at how far out you are. It's crazy. I might die if I go there, so I'll go back after I go all the way out here. But just keep in mind that you can do this. You can build really far out in Psijic, which you probably already have for free from Somerset. They gave us all. And if they didn't, it's probably a worthwhile investment because of this, because you can do this. Anyway, this is really cool. And then you're just so far out and so much space to work with. You could build so much here. And what I did is I went with this area and I built a, oh my God, bonsai garden. I built a bonsai garden because I wanted to make use of this extra space, and so I put it over water. So it's a bonsai garden over the water, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. No slaughterfish there, huh? Look at the monkey with the banana. Such creativity. I'm a real fan of Greek vamps. I love his work. That's interesting. All this little stuff that, you know, that I didn't even notice the first or second time through, I'm noticing now. And I don't know if they were added later or if they're just that good. And I'm just babbling today, talking mostly about building and less about myself. And so I might be a little boring. But if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to share. I'm being eaten again. You guys see this? I'm standing barely in the water and I'm getting eaten. Excuse me. I think I have one last one that I wanted to show you of my own. Telgalen. Now, Telgalen is probably my favorite base house, meaning what you start with, what you work with. It's a Telvani tower, a mushroom tower, and this house is usually only for sale once a year for like 3 days or something. But you can contact customer support. Hey, Swangree, I did your houses, 2 of your houses, 2 days ago. So that should be up online because I was showing off your dirigible and your Star Wars build because they were amazing. Because you're amazing. This was for the contest that J-Hard had where we had to use 100 of craftable items, and we had up to 3 items we could use. And I decided that I wanted to make use of some bugs. Yeah, I wanted to make use of some bugs that are in the base game because I thought that they would look really cool. Now, what you normally see here is a mushroom, a giant, tall mushroom. Looks like maybe one of those out there, if you can see it. But I covered it up with towers, which are, I think, JR said this is the tallest item, craftable item in the game. I believe it. And it's a little uneven, you'll notice. And there's some flickering and whatnot. It's not the best made item I've ever made, but it's did what it was intended to do. It's just to show off the bugs in an interesting manner. These are wells. I flipped wells upside down because they're one of the earliest items in the game that they created, and they didn't bother to make a bottom for them. They have collision. I did cover the ugly. They have collision, but they don't have bottoms. So I thought, how neat would it be if you could go up the side of Telgalen and you could look right down through the corners of the wells. Oh, that's what this was. If you can see behind me, there's those giant mushroom houses. That's what this is. When we put bottoms on those things. Well, they'll ruin my build if they do. Because at this point, I've committed to it. This is a difficult thing to do, building up and around Telgalen, but I advise you to do it. This is why. Telgalen has invisible walls right around here, which are a pain in the butt to build around. And I ended up building around them, but see how ugly that got? That's not a clean line. That's annoying. But it gets better further up. But it's worth it. Because, and also, you don't need to do what I did. You don't need to do a spiral. You could go zigzaggy up and it would look fine. But the view is amazing. The views in Vardenfell, just in general, are gorgeous. Look at that. It's sunrise, I guess. You know what? Game time is 8:37 p.m. Tamriel time. So that's going to be a sunset, and which means that you're going to be here at the most gorgeous time. I love that coloring, but it's really, when it's less foggy, it's a really incredible view. And as you get further up, you can see just how stunning it is. It's really a nice walk up. And my goal too was to make use of a second bug in this house, but I will show it to you when we get there. Yeah, Telgalen's gorgeous. I mean, I had a build before this that was here, and it was a two-parter. It was an anniversary house to thank BMW, a guild that I'm in, for their many years of awesomeness. And then, I switched off of wells here because I thought the wells just weren't working as well as I wanted them to. Well, so I went on to curved elsewhere walls, and I spent so much money on this contest. I think I spent 4 million on this contest, making all these items. And I really kind of resent that I did that. That's there for a reason. I'll get to it. But we're going all the way up. Now we go in. We go inside the mushroom, and let's see if I can point down without falling. There, you can see some of the original mushroom. So the other bug in this house was something that I found when I was building my first build, which was that anniversary build, but then there was also a glass-bottomed restaurant in it. That's gone, but I may put that back because that was really pretty. And I used, for glass, I used those display cases. So you could look down through the floor, through display cases, and see the ground, which is really far down from here. This is such an ugly build because it's intended to do this. See? And you see the griffin over there? I need griffins in my life. I need more griffins in my life. Even if they don't want to be in my lives, I want them in my life. Just as friends, but I need more. And look at me. Look at me. Isn't this incredible? This is a total bug. And if you notice, I have Vivek. This is Vivek chilling out here in the middle of nowhere. Vivek shows where as the furthest I have been able to get out without falling. Yeah, the glass bottom restaurant is not in here, but it was really pretty, and it had the best sunsets. I mean, you can see. Look how beautiful that is. And you could just sit there in an elsewhere style glass bottom restaurant. So, and I did that with EHT as an experiment on learning how to put items together with one another. So that was a learning experience. This was at first made with EHT, but then I ended up doing so much hand fiddling. You can tell it's not, EHT would have done a better job. You know, you can tell that it's just me hand doing it because they're so uneven and whatever. Originally, this was covered up a lot more than it is because I didn't want J Hart to see the Vivek statue. So I had a lot of covering. So this isn't exactly 300 items. It used to be, and I've removed the coverage, most of it, so that you can see the Vivek. It doesn't matter if he's there. And you can see my griffin, if you want to. And that's this house. So this is a later build. This is something when I knew better what I was doing, but it's a dirty build. Don't copy the way that I did this because this is just so poorly executed that it may go away one day. I may end up doing a different kind of build up to the top. This isn't the first build here, and it won't probably be the last build here because I love the house so much. It's a gorgeous house and the views are just amazing. Yeah. Red Moonga actually is the first person I ever saw build up to the top. So he may have figured that out. May have been the first person to figure that out, or maybe he's just the first one I've ever seen that figured it out. But what it is this house actually is not intended to be lived in this way. There's actually a down at the bottom. Let me see if I can hop down there. There's actually a building inside, and it's the inside of a mushroom, just as you would expect. And so it's a neat looking magic-y kind of room, but I don't like it compared to the outside spectacular views. I just don't enjoy it. So, you know, if you get this house, or if you get the Umaya, or if you get the Velothi one, I think it's called. The one I don't have. Umaya is the one I don't have, and then Ald Velothi is the one I have. Have I seen Lux's Tower in Tel Galen? Yes. Lux is, I believe, on my best of list. I think that house is on my best of list, which I actually closed out of. Let me see if I can find it. Luxem, is it? Yeah. Tel Galen, outside pathway. Yeah, so that's the one with the grass outside pathway. Yes, I've seen that. And I've fallen off of it repeatedly to my horrible death. So I think that was probably his intention, was to kill me. And he succeeded. So I'll show you. I want to get through with showing you my houses. That way I can... Oh, this one. We have to look at this one. That way I can move on to other people's houses completely. And I can show you. You did a video of it. Died many times trying to make it. So it is doable, I'm assuming. I did not achieve it. I tried. I tried to get up it, but that I'm, you know, with my arthritis, it's really hard to even go in a straight line. So doing that is difficult. That's probably also why that last house was so weirdly shaped, you know. This one was for schoolhouses. I did a schoolhouse. This has some effects. This just says, new students, homeroom assignments, Stabby Room, Doom, rear garden, J. Hart Ellis, second floor lab, Cardinal 5, first floor classroom. And I put that up because J. Hart wanted us to block off the rest of the school. He didn't want us to include more than one room. So here's the pumpkin, you know. And then I wanted this to be a school bell, but I think most people missed that it was a school bell, or maybe it was just poorly executed. But this is a pole with a pot and a chain. And it's one of those old school bells that you could ring with the chain. I don't think anybody got it. Or if they got it, they were just like, meh, wasn't that good. And here we go. This is the classroom portion that he was not evaluating. I wanted this to be a Nern science school. So since we're on planet Nern, it's like Earth science, but with Nern. And each of the students had stuff on their desks, clutter on their desks, whatnot. I like that Redorin thing. I don't use it enough. And then this was supposed to be a blackboard with an eraser, but that's a brush, and it doesn't really, it's not big enough to be an eraser. Look at the chalk. The chalk is huge. So I really should use a different item to be the eraser, but I think that otherwise it worked really well. I couldn't find a flat colored board, so I ended up using a rug that wasn't flat, but I think it gets the point across. And since it's a classroom, we must have a griffin teaching us the class, because that's just what they do. Griffins teach class. And then they go home and they pick on themselves. But they definitely teach classes, and they're really good teachers. They're exceptional teachers that you can learn a lot from. He can teach you to fly. He can teach you to touch the sky. This is one of the pets, the dwarven pets that I stuck in a display case because I'm horrible, and I stuck them in there. Okay, so this was my goal here, and I'm glad I finally get to talk about this house because I have stuff to share about the build of this house. The build was supposed to be, you're supposed to stand here, this throne, and from here you can see the names of all of the planets. This is an observatory of types, or a fake one that shows you where everything is. That's the moving sky is also carded, so are the names, but the items are real. See, this is what it really looked like. And I made it this way because some people don't embrace EHT, so they would at least see something mildly similar to what I had in mind, even though it's not exact. And I don't think anyone actually realized, and I should have written something saying stand here, and this is the spot to see everything from. But what's cool about this, and there's Massa and Secunda, Masser and Secunda, the two moons, Joan and Jode. The cool thing about this is that I actually went into the lore. I found a website that had all of the lore of Nirn. And believe it or not, they have star maps. They have planetary maps showing where everything is. The names of all the planets around Nirn, which this was interesting. The amount of thought that goes into lore is just amazing to me. But I really appreciate it, and I hope I'm not the only person who appreciates the thought that goes into the lore here. Originally, I don't know if you know this, but originally in astronomy, people thought and people said that the world, all the planets and the sun circle us, the Earth. And later on, Galileo and several other astronomers challenged that idea and said, no, we're not the center of the universe, the sun is. And we're just, we're circling along with those other planets. But it was a big deal, a big religious deal, and I think Galileo was put to death over it eventually. Geocentrism versus heliocentrism. Thank you, Fazaman. So that's exactly when I went to go look at the star map, the planetary maps, and where everything was. They put Nirn in the center, and they, from an imperial textbook, essentially, they talked about how Nirn is the center of the universe, and how all of these other planets are clearly, in relation to Nirn. But it's obvious from the subtext that they're wrong, that actually Nirn is probably a normal planet and probably circles some other star. And that they just want to, Imperials are snooty. They think they're the center of the universe. So, but to actually include that without actually explaining at the end, hey, they're wrong, it's a call out to Copernicus was the first one to state that the Earth revolves around the sun. Yes, you're right. Copernican theory was what. Yeah, I think that Galileo later agreed with Copernicus, and Copernicus had been discredited at that point, or the church had disavowed him or something. And people thought, talked of him as if he was a fool, but he was obviously right. And so what I liked about the lore is that the maps were true to the Copernican theory, or to the non-Copernican theory, that the Nirn was the center. So the maps show everything in relation to Nirn, which is why Nirn is front and center, so that I could actually base everything off of it. And, JR goes through these homes so quickly that it wasn't, I was able to tell him in the channel, like, look, those planets are where they should be in relation to Nirn. Those are accurate based on lore maps. There are at least 3 lore maps that I found online that showed, and they agreed with one another. It wasn't like they were, it wasn't like they were all different and somebody had made something up. They were lore compliant with one another. And for example, Stendar apparently goes around Julianos. So I guess Stendar really is a moon, not a separate planet, but they consider it a separate planet because they're not advanced in their astronomy. Masser and Secunda are moons, but they include them almost like planets, although they do acknowledge that they're moons. And then also Zenithar and Mara. I think Mara goes around Zenithar. So that's an interesting thought in terms of the gods. What does it mean that Zenithar, money, is the center and Mara, love, goes about around it? Love goes around money. Could they have intended that? I don't think so. I think that that was just, the way the lore worked out and they named it what they named it. But I don't think they're trying to intend to say that money and love are that connected. That's an interesting thought, though. There was a lot to say about this house, a lot to say about the sky. And I didn't get to say it. And that's why, one of the reasons why I wanted to start my own stream is because this is interesting stuff to me. Like, not necessarily lore, but the little details, the cool details that they include in this. And it's nice that they have information buried in there for people who are, and I hate to say it, but educated. People who are not ignorant of not only history, but of astronomy and whatnot. I'm glad that they have little things in there for us to go, oh, I know what they're getting at. I get that reference. So that was cool. One of the days that I started, I actually showed you a terrarium. And that was where I originally saw the first terrarium that I had seen. This is it without the painting behind it. And like I said, I put butterflies in it to keep the life looking realistic. Same with the movement of the plant. It's also supposed to keep movement. And the pet. A little bit of a plant, of these kinds of plants in here, so that it looks like a terrarium, And then the painting behind it. It was hard to find good paintings for this. To sort of make it look like, a terrarium often has pictures behind it. And the sand. It's not all lined up perfectly. If I had the time, I would probably come back and fix all of that. Here's the second one. Now, remember, this is Nern science. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I just got some message from someone who I was really worried about, and he's going to be okay. And my heart is very relieved. I was afraid he was dying, and I was really worried about him. But I think he's going to be okay. Anyway, sorry. Moment of emotion. Wow, that was, I don't know if I told you guys, but I had cancer when I was 30 and I'm 42 now, and it was an emotional time, man. And I'm really glad that they don't have to go through it the way that I went through it, because I wasn't supposed to survive, and it's a miracle I'm here. Aren't you all in agreement? Now I get to bore you with housing. So, Nern science. It isn't just the sky, right? It's also the ground. It's the animals. It's the terra. What is the word I'm looking for? Not the terra firma, but the land. The lay of the land and whatnot. I'm glad you're still here, Sal, and I'm sorry. You know what I'm sorry about. We have all lost special people, and it sucks. Some of us worse than others. And so I have animals in here. I have books in here, assuming the students would come in. And I was supposed to hide something in there for J Heart, but I didn't because I forgot. I'm terrible. And then I didn't know what to put in here, so Vivek's in there. He's just chilling. And then this is just all natural stuff, We've got the crystals, the little bonsai in there. And then, oh, here. This is the dwarven execution of the planets. This is the geo whatever mabob. And so if you looked at this carefully and compared it with that, They should be the same if I did my job right. And you can see down here what I'm talking about. They're calling those two on the bottom. You see the ones that circle? They consider them separate planets each. But I don't think they are. I think they're a planet with a moon around them. Because you can see the moon has an extra little arm there, and that moves around the planet. So that's not a second planet. I don't think planets can be duplicates like that, or surround each other like that. I mean, maybe they can, and I'm an idiot. You know, it happens. But that was, I don't know. So anyway, this is, I should tell you. Two things you should know about this house. First one, the windows don't line up with the outside. This came from, I think, Keely. Keely might have been the person who pointed this out. The inside of the house, the windows, they are not in the same place on the outside. There aren't windows on the outside, at least not here. So if you're trying to match something up, just be aware that the house is weird. Secondly, this is the Breton carpet that you can get. It's huge. If you put it down, you can make it look like it's a real carpet. And it makes a room so much warmer, and it makes it it brings color, even a dark color. It's nice. And I thought it looked good. Thirdly, see that? I hid a light in the fire, a yellow one. Now, you know that they come with the blue and the yellow are crystal lights. It makes the room look very yellow or very blue. But if you put one blue one and one yellow one in the same room within parts of each other, they look white. This light looks white, doesn't it? It actually creates a white light when you put the two together. So experiment with that. Try putting those two crystals in the same room, and you get the white light. Because I like to use it, but I ended up with all this yellow light, which is just depressing, or it looks really stupid blue. But this is the trick. This is the trick I learned from a master. So take it, use it, make it your own, and enjoy, and don't ever feel bad about doing that, because it's a great idea. I want to show you, Swankery, is it okay if I show them your Sauron? I hope it's okay if I show them your Sauron, because your Sauron is amazing. I know I've shown two of Swankery's houses before, but like I said, she's just amazing. I think she's a she. I apologize if I am misstating. If it's not okay, tell me. Because otherwise I'm going to go there. She did a Tower of Sauron out of... Did you do it out of chairs? I think you did it out of chairs, didn't you? Those free dragon chairs that we got. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, when I saw this, my mouth dropped. You know, there's some of those houses, like I told you, I didn't want to do a best of, because then you're all going to get intimidated. And somebody was telling me last night that we should all go easier on ourselves about, you know, our work, and recognize that we grow, and recognize that we're not going to be perfect from the beginning, and that all of these people that you see have done these amazing things have learned over time. You know, they didn't start here. So don't beat yourself up and make yourself think that you're not any good. It was Daedra Chairs. It was before EHT and Magic Carpet. Don't mind the mess. She also has one Eurolife made from... Do you really? Or is Cromwell just talking smack? Hi, Cromwell. Okay, so here you go. Check it out. Is that not amazing? It's the Tower of Sauron. Oh, sorry about the map. Wow. Mouth dropping, jaw dropping. I always say mouth dropping, and that's kind of a weird thought if you think about it. So she did this by hand. That's insane. You know, you saw my tower. My tower wasn't clean, good lines like this. My tower was a mess. I will go up and around it so you all can see what I'm talking about. Is that EHT ash, or is that just from something? How did you get the ash coming down? Because you normally snow here, not ash. I'm assuming that there are those, oh, this is Pariah's Pinnacle, by the way. Isn't it beautiful? You can actually build out to those those waterfalls if you want to. I know, right, Sean Yeager? I mean, there's a reason why you should watch me, and if it's only just to see spectacular work like this. Okay, yeah, that doesn't surprise me that is EHT, because I couldn't figure out how you did it otherwise. But I've seen people do like walkways up through these waterfalls, and they're really beautiful spots in the end. And I see you put a glyph over the door down there. That looks good. So these thrones, should you ever want thrones, don't buy them. There was a time when, by accident, I think it was by accident. They say it wasn't, but it was by accident. They put these thrones on for sale on the Lux vendor for free, for 0 gold. And so what people did is they sat there and they hit buy multiple so many times until some people have full guild banks of just this. I know someone who said they bought 17,000 of them. I don't know where they're keeping them all. But I know that Jayhard has a ton. So should you want any of these chairs to build with, which are cheap building materials, basically free, I'm sure you can get them either off the AH for like 10 cents, or you can get them from a friend, or from maybe even ask Jayhard. You felt guilty because you bought 4? I bought like 30. I have 17 left that I am not doing anything with. And, you know, I'm not going to feel guilty about it because I've given them so much money. So I'm assuming that fire at the top, the eye, is the seasonal fire. I can't tell, but it looks like 2 of the seasonal New Life bonfires, maybe? Really well done. And here's some more. You can just sit here and look out. Oh, you've got the horn, too, and the butterflies. I never noticed that. See, I notice new things whenever I go to your homes. New Life, okay. 4 of them. Wow. I can see. Oh, I guess you have them on 4 points. I get it now. It only looked like 2 points because I'm from this position. Okay. Thanks for following me, Cromwell. Cromwell, is it okay if I showed off your your hundings? If that's okay with you? I really love your hundings, and I would like to show it off if no one minds. I don't see why any of us would mind. What else are we doing? We're playing games. Okay, cool. I want to show off your work because I don't want to just talk about myself. I want to talk about some of the amazing work that you folks have done because that's where I've learned from. Oh no! I forgot. Your name is not CDM. It's Cromwell63. Look at me, knowing things, keeping lists. All right, visit. Here we go. So I really liked this house. I put it in my top list of great houses. I don't think Jayhard has reviewed this house, so I'm going to get the scoop on him. This is I called it a transformed crystal cave. Well, I really enjoyed it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know it off the top of my head, but I do. I make it a list, but I do recall that this one was one that I loved. And I believe this is one of those houses that you basically can't tell that it was originally hundings. Look at this. Like, does this look like hundings to you? A beach scene? Not to me. I think I've signed in. Yeah, I found you back in March. Look at me. I'm just a weirdo. This is all I do. I start each day and I go, it still needs some touches in my mind, but the slots are so full. Yeah. I mean, if you can add some EHT stuff that doesn't look too phony, like I would suggest it. Am I going the wrong way? Yes, totally transformed. This is one of those homes that I really, really enjoy when people cover it up to the point where you can't tell where you are. And I'm going to die. This is how I wanted to kill Jayheart, and they didn't sell me one. They were so expensive. I was like, I'm not going to pay a ridiculous amount of stuff for that. And this is pretty. I like this. Whoa, what's that? Is that darkness? Did you add darkness, or is this the oil? This must be the oil texture. FX are off. The oil water, like the not the cold heart, clockwork oil, looks like. That's interesting. That's a really cool effect. Neat. I'm not used to... You got 2 poisonous. But you know what? He was such a jerk because he wore his oh yeah, I see the mist now. Okay. Yes, it does look like mist. And most people aren't going to go in there like me. I actually was upset with him because, you know, on the contest, he was wearing his armor. And it's like, he's a well-armored character. He shouldn't have been wearing his armor. He should have allowed himself to die more easily. But, you know, I shout things at him, and I'm sure he doesn't have the time to read all of my messages, so who does? I love these. I wish they weren't Crown Store only because they're such amazing mushrooms. I bet they could be used in so many different ways. And here's a bat bloom. Can't really see it, but I'm assuming this is a Luxvender bat bloom tree. And crystals, well used. I was going to do a list of homes that were all transformed completely and give them to Jayheart. You know, it's like, guess the home, you know, have it hidden and don't show people what home it was, and then like see if they could guess. But I always give him so much stuff, and I don't know if this is all very interesting. If I'm not commenting on it, it's not because it's not interesting. It is. I like this idea. I don't think I've seen anyone else put crystals in crates like this. This looks really good. Looks like an animal died here and whatnot. But yeah, I wanted to do that kind of contest, but he's always so busy, you know? He's got so many of his own contests and things going on that I don't resent him at all. I'm garly going the complete wrong way. I thought there was an end room, but I'm going probably the wrong way. Sorry if I got lost in your house. I guess that's kind of the point too, though, is where did you get that? That is the expensive moss. That's like hard to find moss. Did that come with the erstwhile? Oh no. Dude, I think I'm stuck under your tent here. Okay, now I got out. Cave is being looted by treasure hunters. Oh, Master and Secunda, let's talk sky again. Can see him right clearly. Master, the big one, Secunda, second. This littler one. Moss came from Grotto. Man, I should have gotten that Grotto. It has all the cool stuff. I could swear that there was another turn that perhaps I missed, but I don't know for sure. Maybe I did see it. Are we going? Is this a circle I'm going in? Yes, this is a circle I'm going in. This is why I can't do mazes, people. This is why I can't do mazes, because I am... Go back through the tunnel. This tunnel? Or back, turn around. Should I turn around? I know I'm missing something. I'm assuming you mean this tunnel. I'm gonna wait. Hopefully you message me again. Tell me where to go. I'm a failure. I'm worse than Jayheart at this. Go back. Okay, I'm back at the beginning. Tell me where to go. To the right path, left path, which you want. I'll wait on you. Up. Here I am, up. You want me to keep going up? Because I think that's the only way I can go, is keep going up. Okay. Yeah, hey, as long as we figured out where I am, you know, I don't really care if I... Now where? All the way through. Down? Do I jump down? I don't want to mess this up. Oh, look at that waterfall. It's pretty. Left. Okay. Is that a tree sunken into the ground? Is that a... It looks almost like a ginkgo tree sunken into the ground. That's well done. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Tiny rock. You know, I found this the first time, but I guess it's because I'm streaming. I'm not able to pay attention as well as I'd like to. And you're using these Alanori stairs, which are great and affordable. Oh, and then you get to the actual ruins underneath with the Welkin stone. Yeah, I remember this. This is so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now I remember it. Exactly. Oh, look. You even use EHT for the eyelid stuff. And the... Oh, that looks great. That looks great. Sorry to reveal all your secrets, but I do appreciate you letting me tour this because I think people can learn something from you. In addition to that, you can cover up so much of the original home and don't feel restrained by making it look like a home. Turn it into whatever you want. And the ruin aspect of it, the fact that it's uneven, it's broken down, that looks fabulous. Ah, I can't get out. No. Let me out. Let me out. Okay. Oh, nice. Yes, they look great. They really do. It looks like an earthquake happened. Looks great. It's an earthquake. Now, is this the one that if I keep going, I will find something over here? I want to say yes. I did want to say I found something. Either it was here or somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe that was... Maybe I'm conflating two different ones in my head, but this is really well done. And here we are. It's like if you came out this way. Nice use of the fake rock there. Oh no, it's a real one! Okay. I just want to be eaten. Oh! Oh, wait. I'm not supposed to find this? This is beautiful. I'm being eaten, aren't I? Well, this is beautiful. Even though I'm being eaten alive. You know, gotta suffer for your art, right? So, yes, once again, I am showing you a masterwork. And so don't feel intimidated by how good this is. Don't feel intimidated because everybody started somewhere. And, you know, some people have greater natural ability, but other people just work hard on it and eventually get there. You know, it's just depends on who you are. And my, I have a professor who's been telling me lately that I should apply this belief that I have about being good at stuff to my writing as well. But I can't. You know, I want to. That's my whole goal in doing housing. Is I wanted to get better at housing in the creative process. You want me to go and take the left? Okay. Before I leave. And go by the poison plant. Let me back up so that I make sure I'm going the right way here. The left? I thought you meant the right. Don't you mean the right? Because isn't this where the poison plant was? Or am I high? All right, I'll go left. Left then right. Okay. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Remember, my hands are bad. Okay, well, look for the poison plant. Where is the poison plant? No, what? What'd I do? What did I do wrong? I don't know where to go, man. I'm lost. Tell me where to go. Anyway, I'll babble while you're talking. Do you want me to go back to the start? While you're directing me, I can babble about what I've been trying to do. Yeah, I'll do that. So, you want me to go down this way, right? Because this is where the poison plant was, I thought. I'm going to just go down here because I think this is where you meant. Because this is where the poison plant was, wasn't it? Yeah, there's the poison plant. How do you die? Is that how you get in there? Oh, or maybe through here. Through here? I don't know. I don't know how you get in. But here's the plant. I don't know where to go. Left. You know things are eating me, right? Left. Oh! Oh! Thank you. Oh, beautiful. What a beautiful little grotto. How unexpected. Oh, and that's so smart. People should use more dead logs. Thank you for being so patient with me. I know it's frustrating when you really want to show somebody something and they're like inept. I know. And it's my fault and I apologize. I'm not very good at this, but I'm still learning. So maybe I'll get better at it. But this is beautiful. This is like a little enchanted grotto. Yes, it really is lovely. I think more people should do things like this. This is just, it's like a little fairy grotto. It's beautiful. And now I will take you to something terrible so I can show you what I mean about growing. Another one of my homes. This was the first J Heart contest I ever entered. I actually won it too. Probably out of pity. It was the Blood Wolf Moon contest. And I made a wolf out of the exercised house. And it was very bloody and gory and gross and whatnot. Because that's, it's a wolf. So if you don't have this house, you can get it this Halloween again. I'm assuming they're going to make you do all of the same jumping through hoops to be able to get the house. But here you go. And turn off my UI. So the vulture's new. The vulture is EHT, and that's a new thing. And this is a fake night sky. And I put that fake night sky up because otherwise the moon during the day doesn't look very right. That blood moon is actually a dwarven light, like one of those little, I don't know what to call it, like a dwarven doohickey. You see what I'm talking about, right? It's just turned so that you only see the bottom and that the red light is peeking out from behind. This was just luck that I figured out that I could make a moon like this because I found nothing that worked right for a blood moon. I think I just got lucky by figuring that out. I'll put the FX back on because I like them. Creepy trees, Cold Harbor creepy trees. And then I took volcanic plugs, which I forget where you can buy them, but you can. I think it may be even Cold Harbor, but I don't remember. You take volcanic plugs, and that's how I made the little dog face. And that's an Argonian light thinger. I stole one to use in another house because it originally had 2 eyes, but now it only has 1 eye. But I figure you're only looking at it from an angle, so who cares if it only has 1 eye. And these were elven tent thingers because they're not very useful as items when building. So as teeth, they're good. Hey, Cranor. Again. And so we go inside, and it's bloody. And oh, there's a griffin hanging out with all of the dead stuff. Imagine that. And Hercian's hanging out, and he's like, yay, we killed stuff. We're going to kill some more stuff. It's wolf time. Yay. And so you can see a very basic beginner type heart house. I just turned the blood fountain upside down so it looks like it's raining down. And it's just a simple, scary home for a good Halloween. If you wanted to do something like this, you can do it. See, he's one-eyed. But I worked so hard to make him look like a dog. I mean, it's really hard to do with those big blocks to make anything look like anything. Crazy. I don't know. Let me check one thing. I don't want to ruin anybody's builds, you know what I mean? But, yeah, the Bosmer-teethy things. I forget what they're called. I'm going to go to one Halloween house and then I'll call it. This is Violet Baby's Old Velothi. And it's because it's a Halloween house that I want to go to it. And it's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Violet Baby has won a lot of contests too. She's got a great Gornier, which is it's a ski lift, and it has all these little cute animals, and it's very Christmassy and whatnot. But this is her Old Velothi, and I found this one by accident, well, just visiting all of her homes. And this one is just, it's creepy. I thought it was a well done scary house because it's really hard to make homes scary in this game. You know, it's just like, oh, how many vampire things can you stick in one room and have it be scary? But this one is actually creatively uses the creepy items in a way that I thought was scary. Or at least more intimidating. You know, jump scares are hard to do without a real person. I know Danny Elder actually pulled off a jump scare by actually hiding in one of his areas, and then when J Hart came by, he popped out, and it was actually kind of scary. It was funny. So this is the start, which is a very interesting way of doing it. It's very Dali type, what's the word I'm looking for? Not avant-garde, surreal. So we have paintings all askew and the vines coming up. And then she uses an arrow with crystals. And this looks like you have to go through a trap, right? You know, with stuff poking up and things swinging and the fire coming in through here. It looks like it's actually part of the game. And this is what I'm talking about with the using scary items in a creative way. Using the knives facing you, that you have to go through it, is unique. I have not seen people do that. Actually, like, this is an interesting thought. Have I seen Wueben's Halloween Home? I want to say I have, but it was a while ago. And I don't remember it. So it's possible I didn't see it, because I would have remembered his stuff, I think. And this is you know, these scary dudes. And heads are mounted on the wall. And so what I really want to get at is to tell you to use the creepy items, or even ordinary items, and use them in a creepy way that people aren't expecting. Maybe aim them at people, maybe hang them like this. I saw somebody on EU took that creepy ass horse, you know, the one that doesn't have flesh on it, it's like a zombie horse. They took the back of a trophy, they stuck it up against the wall so it looked like it was just a trophy board, and then they put the horse through it, so the horse's head was coming out. So it's a live horse's head trophy, which is a creepy dying one, you know, or undead one. It's just terrifying. So okay, I'm going to say it because J Hart wouldn't say it on his stream. Does that thing not look like an anus to you? I mean, it looks like an anus to me. And he wouldn't say it on the stream yesterday, but that's what that thing looks like to me. I don't know. It's just like, maybe I'm, yeah, well, I could see that too, but it really looks like the other end to me. Anyway. Totally inappropriate comments by me. I think it's in his Daggerfall Overlook. Okay, I can take a look. If you guys don't mind hanging out with me a little bit longer, because I was going to wrap it up, but if you don't mind me, I'll stay on. I mean, I don't have anything to do. And then this is terrifying. You know, because there's no babies. What do? What I did is I buried one of those corpses, you know, those burnt corpses. I actually like buried it in mine, so it looked like there was a dead baby. Oh, isn't that horrible? A dead baby in there. But, you know, what else are we supposed to do with no babies? I think a pet is a good idea. Yes. Okay. That's a good costume. I wonder if that's going to be part of the costume contest, because it would be a cute one. I mean, they're squirmy, but it's something. Oh, and here's the other thing that kind of freaked me out. And I took a picture of this because I found it to be freaky. I think those are supposed to be eyes. Look at that. I think that's supposed to be like a creepy face eyes. But the thing that really creeped me out, that's Pariah in the bathtub. Like, I don't know why it's creepy. Like, it really shouldn't be. But I find it creepy, like, scary. Like, why is she in there? Is she dead? Or, like, what's going on? I don't know. I thought it was creepy. Maybe it's just me. All right, and so now we go indoors. This house just goes on, you know? That's actually pretty impressive opening. Dissolving in acid. It wouldn't surprise me. It's that kind of scary house. A goat just chilling like, hi, I'm a goat. Because that's what goats say. Hi, I'm a goat. Oh, the dead bunnies! Where is Research Monkey? Because he's the dead bunny guy. He was always hiding dead bunnies everywhere. He's off in Australia doing some Australian things, I'm sure. This is, I guess... Oh, wow. I forgot about this. A levitating merchant with all sorts of stuff exploding around them magically. An action scene, something in action. So that's hard to do. It's hard to do things in action, but I think she did a really good job of it. The angles of things, you know. Things are at askew angles looking like an explosion rather than just, you know, whatever. Haunted room, exorcist, yeah. So yeah, that doesn't seem to go. But maybe it does. Maybe it's just more of a like ghostly thing, and I see what they're getting at. And then I don't know how she did that. Like, what is that cloth? Do you guys know what that cloth is? Because I don't. She just stuck a skull on a cloth, but I don't know what it is. So she needs pea soup coming out of her. Oh wow, I didn't notice that either. Look at the cross. You're right. You're right, Cromwell. This is an exorcism. Those little details that we put into our homes that we hope other people notice, and I hate it when they don't. The cape. I didn't know we had a cape. I guess that's a Lux item or a Crown Store item because I didn't know we had one. All right, let's look at, I looked at one of wueben's houses the other day that I did his masterpiece. Forgive me, I'm having trouble with brain. So we're going to wueben's Daggerfall, if it's still up. For a Halloween house. Okay. I don't know if you guys are working on Halloween houses. I already finished mine. Mine was my entry for Falling for Fall, and it was like a village that got poisoned by a Pariah cult. But I went more with like an atmospheric thing than a scary thing. And I think that it's so much harder to do a scary thing. So much harder. People... Oh, wow. No, I don't recall this. This is terrifying. You're right. Good suggestion. Upside down blood fountain. Always a nice, scary feel. I think wueben needs to build more. I'm disappointed that he doesn't build as much as he used to. Generally not a good idea to put things in your eyes and face, you know, especially pointy, knifey things. That's generally not a good idea. Snake heads. This is like Medusa. What did he use for eyes? Are those eyes normal? Like normally there? Are those eyes? No, they are? I don't recognize those eyes being there all the time. Lots of radishes being used in obscene ways. I like this. I wasn't going to just tour houses. I was going to build houses, but oh, okay. This is on its side. A good item usage that is unexpected. Using it on its side like this, if I can get through. I guess that's the point, is to try to get through. Also making it like a trap that you have to go through in a dungeon. But the next thing I have to build is the costume contest for J-Heart, and I haven't really figured out what I want to do for that yet. And so these are the Daedric chains looking like they're coming out of everywhere. That's interesting. And here's something going to eat you. Something Verdenfellian or whatever going to eat us. And then we go in this room. And it's Baelor's remains burning over there. That's a really bright light, by the way. Should you ever need a fire in your fireplace and you want it to really light things up, use that and then layer some wood over it so that no one can see the remains. I've done that. It works well. So this is the witch's cauldron with some meat laying in it. And I think that's the ham upside. Yeah, that's the witch's basin. I love the colors. The blue. But I think that they laid the ham in such a way to make it look, wueben, laid the ham to make it look like a brain. Doesn't that look like a brain? I might steal that idea. And I don't know what the little bone is from, but that's clever. See, unfortunately, like, I end up, instead of going here and saying, look at all of these scary things, I go and like, oh, that's a good idea. You know, let me steal that idea, or let me figure, you know, Pariah's been very busy today. And this is the reach grinder, which I've never bought because I could never think of a way to use it, but I kind of see where he's going with it. You know, if you're going to grind up dead bodies, grind up dead bodies with a reach grinder. Well done. Oh no, I didn't even see Tithis. Oh, Tithis. You're having a bad day, aren't you? And then hanging dead bodies, because that's always, you know, scary. Let's not eat here, shall we? I would avoid eating here. This is spooky and expensive. I hope he got this with gold, because this is pricey to try to have this many soulless beings hanging around in your house. Oh no, can I not get through the Daedric fence? No, I can. I just have to angle myself. That's clever. That's a clever idea, but you know what I'm afraid of with traps like that? What if people don't keep going? What if they give up? That's what I wonder about. It's like, they won't finish my house, and my house, having them finish my house is the whole idea. I wonder if this is his monster entry from a while ago. Because this is a really cool monster. I like the movement. Look, it looks like an eyeball. That's so smart. I don't know. Is that a mushroom he used around the eye? This is a brilliant mind that came up with this kind of movement. Look at that. It looks like an iris opening and closing. That's brilliance. Nope, this is first year of DDA Halloween. I wish he'd do more, because this is just brilliant. Just look at these ideas. I don't know that I would ever think to use things the way that he's using things. And that's why I go visit homes, because I get ideas that I otherwise wouldn't use things. But I think he's just a natural. I think wueben just has that kind of mind that he can create these things without the inspiration from other people, but I'm sure the inspiration helps. But I think he's just one of those kind of creative people. This is putting the witch head together with some of the Clockwork Citadel body parts. That's interesting. Here we go. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but that's a lot of heads. When Danger Lucy and I were GM, after Woos became GM, he stopped participating. That's a shame. I wonder, maybe it was just too much work. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't have fun with it anymore. I don't get it. Oh boy. We're going to have to drop down, aren't we, into the flesh. Creepy flesh monster hole. That's a clever idea. I think someone should steal that. Jumping down in flesh. That actually is scary. I wonder if this comes from the witch fart sticks. All of the green. I'm trying to find all the sources for the green poison-y looking stuff. I think he loves creating, but the competitions as GM, he didn't think it was fair. That's a shame. Because I would have, even if he just accepts himself out, says, I don't count, I wish he would still create. Because I think let's be honest, in DDA especially, are we really in it for the competition? Because I'm not. I don't think I've ever won anything in DDA, and I don't care. I'm here to see other people's work, and I'm there to challenge myself to do new things. So if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. I don't really care. I almost wish that there weren't competitions in it, because if that's not what's motivating us, then why do it that way? Don't make it a competition, because all of us are at different levels in experience. And then share the excitement housing. Yes, I am excited by housing, because something like this is really scary. What is that in the middle? Is that somebody's tail or a vine? Yes, Swankery. I mean, I go to the house like by you, one of your homes, and I appreciate that you are able to build things like that. But I can't, and I think this will be the last one. I'll show you my Grand Psijic because I referenced it earlier. And then maybe I'll save that one because it's a big one. I'll just take you to my sugar bowl because that's funny. And it's quick. I think I'm going to try to find the same sort of resource for writing, like where we can share things with other people, because I really want to write more and I'm so stuck. And I think that working with other people to be creative is a great thing. It really helps motivate, and it helps, supporting each other. For me, it's using regular things. And yes, I've been telling people that's how you become one of the best builders, is you have to use things in a way that people don't expect in creative ways. So this is just pointless. This is just coffee. But this is my sugar bowl suite. And it is a giant sugar bowl because I am literal. So I made it with, well, I guess you can just see that's snow. And that's Alanori stuff here, rock. And then this is actually complex. This is one of those squishy things that you use to light a fire. I can't think of the word, but it's like not a flue, but something like that. I forget the name. And then this is the end of it's not a boba bath, it's a bowl of sugar. And then that's a dwarven light upside down. Bellows, thank you, bellows. And that's what this sugar spoon is. And then the background is just a background because I wanted to make it look like there was more here than what there really is here, which is just this. I mean, it's kind of lacking something. It needs a little more depth, I think. And by having that additional painting in the background, I feel like it gave it more color and more depth. It's a cheat. I get that. Don't care. I mean, as long as it's allowed, I'm not breaking any rules. I think it's just like adding a painting to a home. It livens it up. So anyway, I'm really glad that you guys came and visited. I really wish I could figure out, see one item, 2 different minds looking at it. Yes. Some of you people are so brilliant. I can't wait to look at the monsters. I'm going to take some time today to look at the monsters if they're up. And I know some people have put them out. Mine, I have to warn you, mine is stupid. Mine is stupid, and it's stupid on purpose. I did it to be silly, So it's a silly house. And when you go to it, don't forget about me after the stream. I won't forget about you, Kaylee. When I log off, I'll go visible in the game and send you a message. Basically, you know, it's got big boat shoes and it's got nunchucks. And it's stupid looking. That's the idea. I'm not really competing on a high level. So don't feel bad if you don't vote for me. I'll accept that. It was just to share it with you. A little bit of silly. And that's it. I mean, I'm going to call it for today. No giveaways yet until I really figure out what I want to do about that. But if any of you have streams and you want me to promote them or follow them, please let me know and I will do so. Let's support each other. Give what a sec. Give what a sec, Mr. Ellis. Do you want me to dump into you? Well, you know, I was just ending. I can't just stick around just for you. Yes, I can. What do you need me to do? Do you need me to end in your raid for you? I could raid into your channel if you like. I've been talking for a long time, you know. I've just been babbling and everybody's been forced to listen to me up until this point. I'm saying hello to people. Hello to people, and everyone follow J. Hart Ellis if you don't already, and I think everyone in here already does. And make sure you enter his contest. He has an upcoming contest for, I think tomorrow is the deadline for the contest for busts and trophies. Go on the housing forums in case you need information. And then he has another one coming up after that for decorating pumpkins. And then the one after that is to do a costume contest for an NPC. So that's going to take some real creativity, and I want you all to give it a shot, because it doesn't matter what level of ability you're at. It should be fun, and it should be something that we're enjoying together, because we're a great community. The housing community are some of the most wonderful people that I've ever met. And I thank you for supporting me. And I love my giant sugar bowl too. And I love the picture you took of yourself face down in it, because, you know, you're a skooma freak. And I will catch you all later. And thanks for watching. And I will follow you. You follow me. Catch you later. Talk to you probably tomorrow. All right. Good night. See you later.